All right, let's take you back to one of our leading stories now. Load shedding has had a devastating impact on small businesses in the country, with some of them closing down, leading to job losses. Now, the planned EFF national shutdown is calling on all sectors of society to join them at their national shutdown to address these issues, including that of high unemployment. And it includes, of course, the removal of President Cyril Ramaphosa, which the EFF is calling for. Well, let's get the perspective of the small business sector now. And we're joined by the CEO of the Small Business Institute, John Dludlu, talking to us from Johannesburg. Mr. Dludlu, thank you very much for your time. Let's begin with whether or not you have had any engagement with the EFF ahead of their planned march, and if so, what are some of the areas of agreement?
Xoli, thank you very much for having me, and good morning to the viewers as well. We did make a request for a meeting with the EFF leadership, specifically the Secretary General and the Deputy President of the EFF. The request was made sometime last week, and up until now, we haven't received a positive response. So 2-3 days before the planned action, we haven't really we haven't had an audience with them, which is quite regrettable because we really wanted to engage with them about our concerns of the upcoming action.
Yeah. And I imagine that you would have asked for that meeting out of concern for small businesses who may likely suffer the consequences if, and that's a big if, I choose those words carefully, if this strike becomes either violent or people start trashing shops, as in some instances we have seen, not necessarily attributing it to an EFF protest.
Yes, Xoli, but it's very important that we sort of start here. The EFF, like everyone else, has got a right to protest. Actually, we share most of their concerns except for one. We share the crisis of high cost of living. We share the concern about unemployment, especially youth unemployment. We share the concern about poverty and the crippling effect on small businesses and households of ongoing load shedding. Obviously, as a non-political organization, I don't think we have to express ourselves around the removal of the president of the country. That's not our domain. But we wanted to say to the EFF that we are very concerned about the timing of this action. It coincides with several other actions. You would know that the strike by Nehao is still ongoing, as well as the protest action by students that is still going on. And then obviously today is an action by the ANC, and staff will be joining this EFF protest. Under those circumstances, I think it becomes very difficult to sort of guarantee discipline and to guarantee no violence. Anything can just be a spark. And as we've seen in the mayhem of July 21, things can get out of hand quite quickly. And we really haven't had a very good track record of policing, public order policing in our country. So we are quite nervous that both lives as well as livelihoods are in danger as a result. And we believe that there are other ways of expressing the same things without necessarily embarking on something like this. Not at this time, anyway.
The sound to you, John, not very good, and so I'll pose the last question and pick up on exactly the line you have just made, and that is that there are other ways to raise these concerns without necessarily holding a protest march. How else? What other ways are there that could have still a desired impact, but without disrupting business, But at the same time, are you not assured, given that the country's security chiefs, they are on record as saying it will be business as usual on Monday?
For example, one of the things that they could have done could have been to put on terms the government about load shedding, that we're giving you 3 months or 5 months, please end load shedding, end unemployment, come up with a plan to end youth unemployment in the country, and then delay the protest action up to 5 months. Maybe the economy would have recovered by then, but we just resort on protest action as a start, especially under the current circumstances, the volatile circumstances that I've mentioned. I think it was a bit too much. The small business segment of the economy has hardly recovered from COVID and other lockdowns. We can still afford another shutdown for a day. This is the message that we have communicated.
Dludlu is the CEO of the Small Business Institute. Thank you very much for your time, and we do apologize for the poor quality of sound there.